Hey everyone, and welcome to episode 18 of the FDS series. In this one, we're going to be doing the input component, and in this series, there's only 3 episodes left. This one, the next one, which is going to be the row component, and then we're going to do the alert component. And then hopefully, everything you've learned in this series is going to help you make whatever component you need after that. So, let's get into this one. And we're in the web component library. We're going to come down to Spinner. Just right click on it and duplicate the page and then rename this to input. Then move it up so it's in alphabetical order after help text. Good. Let's copy this, bring it up here, replace that, bring in a description about the input component, which I'm going to bring in from my scale design system. So let's just replace that. This can get deleted because we don't want to double up, and let's just create the input component. So I'm going to start with a frame by hitting F on my keyboard. I'm going to drag that out, rename this input, change this to 370, and then add auto layout. And the gap can be 8, so let's apply a variable and just type space and select 8 here. Then we're going to bring in a label. So I'm just going to hit T on my keyboard to type. Add label there, make sure it's in the component, which it is, great. We may as well reset that to 0 and this to 0 as well, because we want everything to be stacked on top of each other. Now what that did was reset the width, so let's just do that again, 370. Now everything we do will be fine. Let's select the text. I'm going to make its width fill container. Then I'm going to change its style to semi-bold and its color to content primary. All right. That's the first element down. And let's create another frame inside here. That's going to be the field. So let's just drag this out. Rename this to field. Add auto layout now. And that's correct there. We can add a gap here of 8 as well. And the side margins can be 16, which is space L. And the top margins can be 12, which is space M. Let's drop an icon in there. So I'm going to go to Assets, go to Iconography, and I can probably even just search for it. Let's add the plus icon at 24 pixels. There we go. Come back to our layers, duplicate it, and then go back and copy the label, come back to the field, paste that in there, and because this is going to be our placeholder text, let's change this to regular and its color to tertiary. Everything's gone off reservation there, so let's just select the field and go fill container, then select the label and do the same. Okay, we're back. Let's style the field, and this one is the default one with placeholder text, so we may as well change that to text, then style the field, right? Its background is going to be background primary. Its stroke is going to be border secondary. And let's give it a 12 pixel border radius. There we go. All right, now what we need is the help text to go underneath this. So let's select input again, and then come back to assets. Just close this and then search for help text. Okay, there it is. Let's just drag it in. Go back to layers and then bring it down below the field. Make sure its width is set to fill container and make sure it's in its default state. Okay, great. Let's select input now and make a component. Let's come over here and hit create component. And now let's add the properties by coming up here and going into the label, adding a property, calling it label, creating it, then go into the text, do the same there, that's fine. Then we're going to select the leading icon, come over to appearance and add a show leading icon property. Just press enter. Let's do the same for the trailing icon. And then we're going to need to add instance overrides for these, right? So let's select this one, come up to here, and then go leading icon, select the trailing one, and do the same. And the last thing we need to do is give it the ability to show and hide the help text. So let's just create that. As easy as that. It was already filled in. Now let's come up to the top level and make sure everything's in the right order. We've got the label, we've got the text, we've got show leading icon. Let's bring its leading icon to here, then show trailing icon, followed by trailing icon, and then show help text. And with that done, now let's create its variants. This is the default, but if we come up to input and then select add variant, we're going to end up with 2 of them. Let's grab the default one and move it to the top. Rename its property to state. Copy that, come down here, and then change this to focus. In the focus one, we're going to change the text to content secondary, and then its border is going to change to focus. And before we go any further, let's give the border width a variant. There you go. This can probably change to blue if it's in focus, so you really know it's in focus. Okay, let's select it and add another variant. This one's going to be filled, which is what you see after you've entered text. So you're really going from here, focusing, and then coming back here. We're going to change the border back to secondary, and then change its width back to 1. Let's create another variant. This one is going to be the error state. Select the field, change the border to negative, change the width to 2, and then change the help text to error. What's missing? We've got one more, and that's disabled. So let's add that like this. Go back to help text, change that to disabled. Grab the label, change its color to disabled. Do the same with the text in here. Grab the icons and change their content color to disabled. Then change the border back to 1, and then border, you guessed it, disabled. Okay, let's make the icons hidden when you first start using this. Okay, and let's go up to the input component, go to nested instances, and then turn on help text, because we want to be able to override that text, right? And let's drag one out and see if everything's working. Okay, the order's reset itself a little bit, so let's grab leading icon, and then trailing icon will be there. Great. Let's change the label to first name. Let's just call this placeholder. Then the help text can be enter your first name. And then what if we add a leading icon that's a date picker? So calendar. There we go. And then what if you've entered text and you want to reset it? So let's go to trailing icon and then just add close. There you go. Selecting that can reset this back to default, which will of course hide the trailing icon, and then you'll be back to where you began. Okay, that's all working, and let's just resize it to make sure it's scaling properly. Okay, and that's it for the input component for the web library. Let's take this over to the app library, change out the text styles so you can use it in your app designs. Do the same thing we did last time. I'm just going to duplicate the spinner page, rename this input, move it up to here, change this to input, bring in the intro, select the spinner and delete it. Go and grab the component, copy it, and then paste it into here. Let's move it into place. There we go, and select the label. Go over to multi-edit variants and change this to app text L. There we go. Semi-bold. Let's select the text. App text L again, but just regular this time. Then the help text. Let's swap this component out for the one that's in this library. There we go. And that's it, we're done. We've made the input component for the web and app libraries, and we're ready to move on to the row component. I hope you're looking after yourselves and each other, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.